Good morning, or good afternoon, wherever you may be, or good evening, or good night. This is Jen at JensArtyInclinations, a place to create, share, and play.
Hello everyone. I promised that I would do a little video that goes through the process of how I made this little flippy flappy notebook thing. And now the basic structure is one that I've seen a few different people do in a few different ways. So what I want to give you is the base so that then you can go ahead and design your own and make your own. You choose where the flaps go and how they work. So what I'm starting with here is a 12 by 12 sheet, and I'm wanting to make the center panel just slightly wider. So that's why I'm scoring at 3 7/8. But the one that you saw at the beginning that I didn't actually even measure. I literally just folded it into thirds so that I had a long panel in the middle. So you can do that too. You know, it's actually quite easy. So here I'm scoring it down, and I'm scoring it both ways because on this one, I wanted to have a little bit of flexibility once I did the flaps. You'll see what I mean once we get there, and it will make sense then. I'm inking my edges just so that you can see a little bit more clearly what we're doing. So the next scores that we do are ones that fold across those first folds. So you're now scoring vertical and you were scoring horizontal. And the 2 inches apart, I'm scoring them 2 inches apart to make a nice thin little booklet this time. And because I did want it to have 5 folds so that it completely folded up into a little book on the end. So anyhow, that is what you're ending up with. And then it's the side bits that fold in and make you flip some flaps. So again, just scoring it all. Inking, that's what I'm doing. I'm just inking the folds just so that you can see a little bit more clearly what I'm doing. But truly, this is all you're doing to start with. So the Concertina part makes the booklet, and when you're scoring it in thirds, that's how you get your top panels and your side panels. And so I'll just show you roughly, even though they're not quite the same folds, but if you can see, that's how that bottom flap folds out, is just cutting those pieces. I'll show you again on the top one. So 3 of those panels I just scored across, and then they folded into that page. So we'll do it as we go, and it will make more sense. I'm just kind of, again, making this up as I'm going along. So this one, I'm just scoring just up to the folds there. So see, I've made a little folded booklet that goes inside. Now we will cut a little bit off these to trim them up. That just makes them all fold, a little bit more nicely. But here I'm just kind of making them up as I go along. So that's what I'm really encouraging you to do, is just create your own design as you go. And if you cut out a panel accidentally, well, it can become a pocket. It's all easy. Every time you do it, you might do it differently, or you might find that you end up with a design that you love to do every time. Obviously, you do not need a 12 by 12 inch piece of paper. That is just what I've used here because it's what I had. And my gorgeous friend Kylie over at Kylie's Card Craft, she's been using up her 12 by 12 paper, which has inspired me. And she's got some fabulous projects. So yeah, go and have a look at Kylie's Card Craft. So yeah, that's why I ended up doing the 12 by 12. So remember on the first one, I had the little pocket in that last panel. Because I added an extra panel to this, I actually decided that I'd do flaps inside. Now here, I am just very carefully cutting off the edges so that they'll fold in a little bit. Use your bone folder just to ease the folds across just a little bit more if you need to. You'll see that's all I'm doing now, is just going around and just trimming the edges. So the nice thing is they're not folding all the way down, because remember I made the center panel wider, and that was why I did that. Yeah, I'm just cutting off a slither there. See, just a slither. And then that just means that it sits nicely within that fold and within the booklet. So going around the whole thing. Now, I think this is the point that I've finally worked out that I was folding it the wrong way initially. But here you go. Here are all the little flaps that I made. And then you concertina book it up. See how easy it is? So see what I mean, that you can just kind of work out what you want to do as you go along. So on my prototype, I actually glued down the backs, But again, that's not necessary. You actually don't need to do that to make it work. And in fact, sometimes it's better to do it and sometimes it's better not to. It just depends upon what kind of little project you're making. The first one was a little notebook I wanted to slip in a handbag, and I didn't want to have to put a closure or anything on it, so that worked really well just with the back glued. Whereas this one, I thought, no, I'll have a bit of fun. It can be one that you can put together with a tie. So I'm just rounding my edges, and that's what I mean by just putting the pocket on the back. I thought I'd just put it on the inside back cover. Those of us who do junk journals are very familiar with this style of tuck and pocket. All right, so now I'm going around and I'm putting thumb holes in everything. So all the things that you flip and you flap, I'm putting a little thumb hole in just so that there's a little indication that you open that bit up. It helps give everybody a hint when they're using it. And I often give it to my husband and I go, here, have a look at this. And I see what he does with it to see if I've been successful. Although now he's getting a bit more practice, so I need to find more people who have no idea what I'm doing to test things out and have a look at them. And then I'm just inking around the edges because I like that look, and also because it helps make that little thumb hole and so forth be a bit more defined. So I'm not doing decorating on this, I'm just showing you the structure, but actually it's one of those ones that it could sit on its own. It wouldn't have to be decorated. So there's the little finished piece all done. I just like to use my bone folder throughout just to make them work. So it's a little book both ways, and then we'll open up the flaps and you can actually have a look and see how this little structure works. A little bit different to my other one because I was sort of a bit back to front and upside down. But again, another structure that's a bit cute and works quite well with that pocket inside the back. Now, and before I show you the next bit, I just had the end of this ribbon that I was doing onto something else, and it had all these bits on the end. So I went, that'll make a perfect tie. So I added a couple more ribbons and voila, it's just a really cute little tie. It flattens down really nicely, and that ties the little book structure. So it would make a cute little present like that, to give to someone. You can decorate it up like I did the other one and put writing pages in or little pictures. It could be a little photo album, so many different things. But again, remember, the structure that you make is up to you in this. Once you got that basic 3-panel idea, you can make this into anything. So much fun. You could add more pockets in those flips and everything. Now here, look, I'm flipping them the other way. So that is what's really cool. If you don't do the back, you can actually choose which way you want to flip them, and it's no big deal. So when you actually go through and look at it the other way, you may have to fold some of them back properly so that they work the other way as well, or you may not. It depends. So here I'm just kind of flipping forward, flipping backwards, having a look at how I want it to work, and I wanted one in each page if you go backwards and in each page if you go forwards. So we'll go through it again and have a look and see how it works this way. And actually I quite like it this way. So then I've got one side and now I've got the other side. And you'll see here when I flip it up, of course I can't flip it out, so you just got to fold that back around so that it works both ways. So you might find that with 1 or 2 flaps, maybe not all of them, and folding the next one, then we work beautifully. Down, out and out. So that's another reason too why it's kind of cool to score things on the folds both ways if you want to play about with this. There you go. That is this structure. So it looks really complex. It's not complex. It's actually quite simple. So here we are. I'm folding them all back around the right way again. Or am I? Yes, I am. So another flip through, and then I decided I'd actually fold this bottom flap because obviously I've got to fold it back again. But this time I thought, I'll actually concertina that bottom bit rather than folding it in and in. And then it sits even flatter. And then I actually liked the way that this one folded back. I thought that contrast of the other side was nice, so I changed that again. If you're letting yourself just play, it's amazing. You'll find that you prefer it another way and you develop it. So I hope you enjoyed. I hope this makes sense for you. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's such an easy thing just to slip in a pocket, and look at all that journaling space, or look at all that space for photos. Imagine showing people photos or little diagrams in something like this. It'd be really rather wonderful. So enjoy. I'd love to see if you make your own. Let me know and I'll go and have a look at your link. And see you next time. See you on the flip side. Get it? Flip. Sorry, that was just terrible. Take care. I'd love it if you could leave me a comment below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed what you saw today. And of course, please subscribe if you haven't already. I will see you next time. And in the meantime, keep creating. Enjoy.